the Dream Team, Dusty Rhodes, Koko Beware, and the tag team champions, the Hart Foundation, taking on the $1 Million Team. Ted DiBiase, Rhythm and Blues, and, mystery opponent. Out comes Dusty Rhodes. He hasn't got polka dots on anymore. This is a very brief period where he entirely gave up. He just couldn't be bothered. And Greg Valentine is in his imperial phase. He is the Rhythm and Blues Greg Valentine. They basically had Honky Tonk Man and him being a tag team. Honky Tonk Man was Elvis. They looked at Greg Valentine and said, you should be Roy Orbison. And Roy Orbison as a wrestling gimmick is so weird and left field that I actually find myself, I love Greg Valentine in this period. Honky Tonk Man is doing all the moves because he's been doing this gimmick for years. And Greg Valentine is just not at home with it. So he just stares at the camera with all this stuff on.
With his like pitch black hair and he looks so weird with a little squidgy little boggling face, and he's not selling it, is he?
They've sort of gone, Greg, we're going to give you this so we don't have to fire you. And he's like, do you know what? I'm going to do nothing with it. He comes to the ring and he's sort of trying to do a curled lip, something that Roy Orbison didn't do. And he can't do that. And Honky Tonk Man used to do a sort of move like, if you can imagine, he had an invisible scarf around his neck and he was moving it so to go back and forth, like Elvis might have done in Vegas. Valentine has obviously not seen Elvis do it, but he has seen Honky Tonk Man do it. And he's sort of gone, I imagine what he's doing is sort of wanking off a horse. So when he comes out, he sort of does a big wanking motion that doesn't look anything like the sort of Elvisness of it. Just a big jerking off. I'm Roy Orbison, I'm jerking off a horse. That's my gimmick. But then we do get this debut of The Undertaker. Out he comes. And it's sort of, it's a funny reaction, really. I think, I remember watching this and him coming out and being so excited that I was able to identify who this wrestler playing The Undertaker was. And I said to my friends, oh my God, it's Mean Mark Callis from WCW. It's Mark Callis. Yeah. And I remember someone turning to me and just saying, why would anyone care? Well, look, 30 years later, here we are.
We care.
Where's your podcast not caring about wrestling? A person I've forgotten who you were. Because here's mine, and I'm talking about me, Mark Callis.
What's a podcast? Doesn't matter.
And I'm nearly 50. Nearly 50. So how do you like them apples? Can you get this podcast in Monaco? Where live somewhere glamorous. But out he comes. There is no real audience reaction. The audience don't go, this is the greatest thing. But they do cut to one guy, and he's looking at The Undertaker with a mixture of, what is this? A bit of fear, a bit of, is this guy going to be good? And a bit of sort of sexual interest.
Is this guy going to define wrestling for the next 20 years?
Yeah. And does it make me feel quite sexy? This was the first time anyone had seen The Undertaker. There was no preamble. There was no build for him. They didn't have a load of, little vignettes where someone was sawing a coffin in half or whatever. That's Paul Daniels. So this is the first time anyone's seen him. Out he's come. It was actually his fifth match in the gimmick. He'd taken on two jobbers called Mario Mancini and Rick Sampson. And those matches would go out on Superstars in the weeks after. And he also had a couple of house show matches where he'd beaten Dusty Rhodes. Right. He starts off and out he comes with Brother Love. This would be the only pay-per-view that Brother Love would be his manager. They had said to Brother Love, who was Bruce Pritchard, they said to him, really, we'd like you to go out on the road. He needs a manager with him. But if you go out on the road with him, you then can't do the backstage production work. So which do you want to do? And he said, well, I'd rather do the production stuff wisely. I mean, don't become an on-screen character. You've got a year, 2 years tops. You stay working in the office. And so that was when they went, okay, well, let's look for another manager for him. And they contact down in the USWA, Percy Pringle, who was a former embalmer. And they come up with Paul Bearer. I mean, just what a relief that Brother Love stepped aside, that you could have this incredible sort of pairing and that someone like Percy Pringle would get to have such a sort of like iconic run. I think he's one of those guys who did everything they asked of him, who absolutely adored the business. You don't hear anyone say a bad word about Paul Bearer. One of life's good guys, apart from the fact that he did marry a girl who looked like she was definitely underage.
I think she was, but not in Texas. Not in Texas.
It is funny how America goes. The law applies to everyone, apart from if you live a long way away from a main road. At which point, anything goes.
A lot of America is underpinned by don't ask, don't tell. Like, it's very much like it's just all that.
Yeah. The first person who gets his hands on the Undertaker that we ever see is Bret Hart, which is an interesting little sort of bit. It's funny that it's not, say, Jim Neidhart, because that wouldn't mean anything. But of course, Hart and Undertaker, they would go on to become main eventers for such a long period of time and such big stars. And it's nice that they had that connection right at the start. Hart gets a very, very sloppy neck slam off Taker. He's not quite got his moves down pat yet. Jim Neidhart then comes in and Taker slams him. And you can see he slams him very gingerly. He makes sure that Neidhart's feet take all of the impact. And I think that's very much as well the new boy, isn't it? That you're going, I'm not going to go in here and hurt. If I hurt this guy, he is going to make my life a living hell. So I am going to do this as well as possible to alienate as few people as possible. Then we get Koko Beware in. Undertaker chucks him neck first across the top rope. He doesn't give a fuck about Koko. He knows Koko's low on the pecking order because he's a bird peck.
Good peck.
Bird peck. And he then picks him up for a tombstone. And Koko Beware used to have a move called the Ghostbuster. And the Ghostbuster was a brainbuster suplex. So you put someone up into a high suplex position where you remain standing. And then Koko would just flop to the floor so their head would drive in. You would go like a dart from 6 foot up. Terrible, violent move. Every time he did it, someone looked like they died. He didn't get to do it to the big stars because Koko was an opening act, but he would do it to all the jobbers. And so when Undertaker does that tombstone that you just go, oh my God, that's absolutely concertinaed him. I did sort of go, you may have deserved that, Koko. That may be a little bit of payback. Again, first day jitters. What's really interesting about that tombstone is when Undertaker has picked up Koko Beware, he repositions himself to make sure he's standing in front of the hard camera so they can get it all. But he goes to the wrong side. So he actually turns his back to the camera. He works hard to get to the worst position possible before he does the tombstone. And it's just amazing that he's got a thing of, as soon as he's done that, he's just a bit like, oh, for fuck's sake, I did that shit neck slam on Bret Hart. I probably overprotected Jim Neidhart, and now I've missed the hard cam. This is just
absolute nails.
Oh, this is bullshit. What we get then is we get Valentine comes in. Dusty Rhodes does a bit with Valentine. Dusty Rhodes is looking really very Big Daddy-ish at this point. He
doesn't look quite as more, because he's all about being a little jelly man, isn't he?
Yeah.
But he's just he looks like a little sour baby jelly thing. But now he looks too static.
He is, and he's sort of, his face has gone a bit inert. He used to be all about, like, you know, whipping the crowd up, and in this he's sort of like peering out of his hooded eyes and just sort of like punching and chopping and stuff like that, and no crowd work. Rhodes goes out with no pins. He is the team captain, but what happens is the Undertaker pins him. He gets pinned with I think a clothesline off the top rope, and then he rolls out, and there's no sense of, I don't know, it's just a sort of sad end. He then sees Brother Love and he kind of goes, right, I'm going to knock you about. And the Undertaker comes out of the ring and is counted out while he's battering Rhodes down. But the two of them don't fight back to the ring. Rhodes is just killed.
Yeah, he's gone.
He just keeps slapping him. Rhodes can't get up, and he kicks his arse all the way to the back. And I think that might be the end of Dusty Rhodes. It's a horrible way to end.
Oh.
You know, really, really, really depressing. You do, when the Undertaker goes through that curtain, you do go, good God, I want to see him again. What are they going to do with this guy? That guy seems absolutely unstoppable. And he will remain unstoppable. He will become bigger and bigger. And within just the short space of 365 days stroke a year, he will be winning his first WWF title from Hulk Hogan at the next Survivor Series. So in those days, that seemed like an amazingly quick turnaround. It's the equivalent today of debuting and winning the title. That was it. Taking a year to win it was
at this point,
rushed it. Absolutely rushed it.
At this point, they need reinforcements, though. They need something, don't they?
Yes, they do. Yeah, and they'll need it even more as time goes on and Hogan begins to really become a liability. They also need to freshen it up. Hogan has been on top since sort of 84. And, you know, here we are. We're in the 90s. This ain't your daddy's decade. This is the decade of Saved by the Bell. This is the introduction of links. We need new, exciting exciting. These fucking turtles that are into turtle power, you know.
And they live in the sewer.
They live in a sewer, which is cool and rad. So they are having to kind of go, what do young people need? The only thing is they've at no point asked any young people. What you do get just at the end of this match is a wonderful, brilliant star-making performance where Bret Hart takes on Ted DiBiase. At this point, he was still an underdog. He is very much in that bracket of I'm a tag team wrestler and therefore, you know, I'm never going to win a belt or anything, but I'm a good wrestler. And Hart had a unique aura in that he seemed to be the only person on the roster who was aged under 50. You know, he had nice long hair like people in rock bands had. You know, he just stuck out and people immediately went, he's cool. Nobody else was cool at all. Hogan, not cool. Warrior, not cool. You know, Ted DiBiase, not cool.
Not cool.
Andre,
Definitely
not cool. Was he, even Jim Neidhart, not cool. But you do have Bret Hart, and Bret Hart looks like a sultry, moody pinup, you know, who is actually someone you go, I could imagine you having sex. Can't imagine Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Haku having sex. But Bret Hart is sex appeal.
Yeah.
The other thing about him is he wrestles as well, stroke better than anybody else in the country. So when they have the DiBiase and Hart thing, everybody knows Hart can go. Everybody loves Bret Hart, but the reaction he gets from this begins to make the office go, there's something in this guy. You know, maybe, just maybe, he could one day be a superstar. And Hart is so good in this little bit. The idea of him actually beating Ted DiBiase to the audience would have seemed remote, but you did have that sliver where you went, but on this night, he's good enough. What if? I mean, maybe they'll put... It was that exciting thing that really made this great, because it was that sense of going, if Hart wins this, that is something that none of us expected, that he would become a proper superstar. There are a couple of bits they do that are so good and that we'd never seen before, and were very much, I think, Bret Hart-isms from his sort of growing up in Stampede and the generations of wrestlers who went before. So there's a bit where Ted DiBiase goes down as Hart comes off the ropes, and Hart trips over him and grabs his ankle, and it makes it look like everything's gone wrong. We've never seen this before in the WWF. And as Ted DiBiase sort of goes, I fucked his ankle, Hart runs over and rolls him up. And the crowd, they think this is going to be a 3 count. They can't believe it because we've never seen it before. And those sorts of distractions will always end up in a pinfall. And the fact that DiBiase kicks out, you go, holy shit, what am I watching? It immediately goes to Virgil, grabs Hart, and DiBiase goes right, I'll hit him with a knee. And DiBiase hits Virgil because Hart moves out the way and Hart rolls him up. And again, we were taught that if you accidentally hit Virgil and not the person you were going to hit, it meant that you were about to lose and get pinned. That's the way it's always worked. And so when Hart does that, you go, shitting hell, he's actually going to... My God, he didn't. And the reaction to those 2 pins, the crowd want Hart to win, but they didn't think it was possible. It ends quite suddenly. There's a crossbody which is reversed. And DiBiase gets the pin, and Hart just sits up and looks into the camera and just goes, fuck. And nobody else ever did that. Nobody else said fuck. And A, that was cool. It's fucking cool. It's the word fuck. But B, the fact is, it meant something to Bret Hart. You'd never have seen one of the bushwhackers go, oh, for shit's sake, when he lost. He just goes, we're going back home now. Bret Hart, it mattered. It mattered to him. And that was the moment that you go, this guy is something else. He seems real in a company full of people that, you know, I think are silly, they're big characters and they're fake. And in the middle of it, you've got this cool guy who is actually doing something that's real compared to everyone else that is just an irresistible combination. From this point on, a load of my friends, their favourite wrestler was Bret Hart. They all moved over from liking Jake the Snake Roberts straight to going, I like Bret Hart. And if you said that, you'd be like, that's cool. I wish I'd said that.
Wish I'd said that before everyone else.
Because I think it and I feel it and I think he is my favourite wrestler. But now it's just bandwagon jumping. So you had to go, no, I think my favourite wrestler is still Hercules. There was a little bit of reality behind the scenes on this as well as to why this was such a emotional moment for Hart, which is that the day before, his older brother Dean had died.
Yeah, that's an interesting kind of quite...
Yeah.
I mean, it just speaks to how unprofessional the WWF is.
Well, yeah, isn't it? You know, that he went out and did it. But Hart had dedicated this match to his brother, and Ted DiBiase had said to him, let's go out there and I'm going to give you a match worthy of dedicating to him. And the two of them, when they got back afterwards to the dressing room, the two of them were just locked in an embrace. It was a very emotional moment.
There's a bit where he dives over the top rope onto Ted DiBiase on the outside, and it's just like, fuck, that's good.
You have
in that generation
era as well. Yeah, you'd seen. I suppose people like the Dynamite Kid were doing it, but what you'd never seen is anyone doing it to legitimate big stars like Ted DiBiase.
When the Dream Team steps in the ring with the $1 Million Team at the Survivor Series, we're going to win the war. Right, team? Yeah, man, baby. What about it, Coco? I feel all right. Oh, yeah. Because it's Survivor. Oh, yeah. Come on, Jim. Talk to him, brother.